Okay, in this video we're going to use Affinity Photo to stack and edit some light painting photography. So I was mad enough to go out one cold, starry night, and I had no light source with me other than the light on the back of my phone, so it was a bit of improvisation really. And I just did several long exposures and ran up and down this country road. So on their own, they're not particularly visually appealing, apart from maybe this one, which has some interesting swirls going on here. But what we can do is stack them together and use a particular stacking operator to bring out and expose these light trails from each image. So let's get started. We'll move across to Affinity Photo, go to File, New Stack, and choose to add our files, and I'll just pick up the 4 files in the light painting folder and click OK. Okay, so Photo has aligned these images and grouped them into a live stack, which, as it stands, doesn't look particularly wonderful. That's because we're using a median operator. Now, we'll want to use, mean will give us a sort of an average of all the images, so we can start to see the trails coming through. But for maximum effect, we want maximum operator. So not only do we bring out the light trails here, but we also get a lovely dotted movement effect from these stars in the sky. So just before I go ahead and edit the image further, I just want to point out that there are a couple of other approaches we can take with this. Rather than leave these images in a live stack group, we can go to Arrange and ungroup them, and then we can experiment with different blend modes. So Lighten will do basically the same as the maximum operator, but we can, for example, use Screen, which gives us a much brighter overall image. For now though, I'll put them back in a stack and use the maximum operator. So again, with all the layers selected here, we can just go to Arrange and Live Stack Group to put them back in. Then once again, I'll change the operator to maximum. So I just want to enhance these trails slightly, and a great way to go about this is to create a new pixel layer, set the blend mode to overlay. I'll set the opacity to about 50%. Then I'll get the paintbrush tool here. Let's increase the width slightly and reduce the hardness all the way to 0. And then to sample one of the blue tones in this image, I can hold the Alt or Option key and left click and just release the mouse button once I've found a suitable color. Then I'll just paint over the light trails like so. Just to really bring them out, and I'll just dynamically adjust the brush size on the fly using the shortcut keys. Okay, nearly done. There we go, that will do. So I'll select the View tool and just move back here. So finally then, I'll just add some nice diffusion to the image, and I can do this via a live diffuse glow filter. So we'll find it down here. And by default, these nest into whichever layer you have selected, which I don't want. So I'll just click drag it to the top of the layer stack. Okay, so I'll increase the radius for a much softer look, increase the opacity, reduce the intensity, and then just bring the threshold back so it starts to affect more areas in the image. Okay, that looks about right. So finally then, just to bring everything together, I'll use a curves adjustment and bring the shadows down and just sort of pull the midtones back up for a gradual curve in the highlights as well, and that rounds my light painting image off nicely. So there we go, just a quick video on stacking and blending light painting imagery. I hope you found that useful and it's given you some ideas for your own photography. If you have any questions or queries, please do ask on the Affinity forums, and don't forget to check out the other video tutorials. Thank you for watching.